Everybody, this is the 6th episode of my video blog series, Let's Write. If you haven't seen the previous ones, I recommend you check them out just to get the background for this one. That being said, this is kind of a special episode since I'm not alone here. This is my buddy Otso, and he had an idea that he would ask some questions for me about the creative writing and storytelling in general. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm into storytelling myself also, although in the visual form. And there's questions that I would really like to discuss with you.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, why not combine your Let's Write series? And
Gladly
that was okay with you. So.
Yeah, spares me the time from writing the episode.
Okay. So first question.
Yeah.
What does it mean when people say you have to write with heart?
With heart?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a difficult question. Writing with heart to me it's about empathy, empathizing with the characters, empathizing with the struggles of the characters themselves, and also being true to yourself and writing, writing with heart. That's
it's a
difficult term, yeah, but writing about here you see I haven't written anything down, and I'm hearing the questions for the first time, so I'm stuttering more than usual.
So you mean what do you mean by staying true to yourself?
Writing what you really want to write about, not writing what is popular or what sells, but instead writing about the things you hold dear, you personally are interested in.
How does constructive criticism fit into that? Should you still amend your views based on what you hear recommendation?
Well, yeah, criticism, when it's constructive at least, can be very useful, and if the criticism really is constructive, it's not about what you are doing different to others, but what you are doing wrong in a general sense. When criticism is constructive, it's more like about how the characters aren't believable, how the events aren't believable, stuff like that. Not about that it's you're doing something different, so that must be wrong. So there are a lot of for example, magical realism is quite different to what most people are considering fantasy or so forth. But when you're writing magical realism, criticism shouldn't be about that you are writing not the regular kind of fantasy, but more magical realism or dark fantasy style. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, a bit. Probably have to let this sink in a bit.
Yeah.
The question why I asked about the criticism was the divide between when you said staying true to yourself, writing exactly what you want to write.
Yeah.
But does that mean staying in this sort of ivory tower, knocking yourself, isolating from all opinions and criticism on your work, saying that you should try otherwise, you should try this and that?
Well, yes and no. I think you should try all the possible ways you can produce the same story, but you should still be in a sense that in that ivory tower of writing that story you want to tell. Okay. But the way you write about it, you should experiment, try everything, here and there.
Okay, I see. So that's the essence of staying true to yourself. You're saying it means writing exactly what you want to write, but also being
open about different viewpoints to the same outcome.
Okay, so that's staying true to yourself. Did you have other definitions for writing with heart?
Well, the empathy, yeah. Empathizing with the characters. If you don't empathize with characters, the characters become sort of robots.
Robots?
Yeah, they act because they have to act according to plot. But if you empathize with the characters and the events they're going through, then it becomes more like real human beings instead of pawns in chess game or something like that.
Okay, how do you know whether you are truly empathizing with characters or whether it's some kind of illusion that you realize after writing the whole book that, wait, this is not real?
Well, then you have to edit it.
Do you notice it?
Sometimes you can notice it, yeah, and it takes a lot of practice to notice it, actually. And my personal advice has on this topic, as I've said in some previous videos, has been that start writing from the beginning of the story and don't plan too carefully everything. Let it, flow naturally. Give it some room to wiggle around. Give the characters the space to have, different. Let them act according to their character, not according to your plan for the character. Again, that takes some time to get round to and used to and understand the process, because every writer, storyteller works a bit differently on these sort of matters. To find your own way into this and around this is it's time consuming, but when you find it, it becomes natural to you.
So when you say, just to clarify, when you say empathy towards the characters you write, do you mean that you really empathize with the characters, or that the characters empathize? Well,
what I mean is that you should be able to step into their shoes.
Step into their shoes, okay.
And look around, even if the character is something you totally wouldn't be, something you're completely different than you should still, as a writer, step into their shoes and look at the world as they would look at the world.
Okay, I see. Finally, we're about 3 minutes. So, still about the question. The question is about the heart. Writing with heart. Do you think that advice is useful?
Well, yes, considering both sides of the issue we've been babbling on about, it is useful to write with heart, because if you wouldn't write with heart, it would probably be very analytical, very boring, very static, the story and the way the story is told. Only if you're writing with heart you can truly experiment with something new, something different.
Do you have to believe in what you write?
Well, what do you mean with believing in? Do you mean that you have to believe that the events are true, or do you have to believe in that you're doing something meaningful?
Something meaningful.
Yeah, I think you have to, because it's about motivation. If you're not motivated, you start disliking the story or not believing it. Well, the story is gonna die sooner or later. You're not gonna finish the story if it's even a bit longer than usual.
So self-doubt will kill the story.
Undoubtedly, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. Still, the last remaining minutes on the topic of heart.
Yeah.
Do you think that a piece of advice is objective?
Subjective or objective?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about the heart. I think that every writer knows when they are writing with heart.
Really?
Really, yeah. I think that is the case, because if some writers do not write with heart, they are just basically word randomizers who monkeys slamming the keyboard and producing something. They're not truly committed to the writing process and the story that is the product of the process. I think every writer needs to write with heart in that sense, because if they don't, they just whatever, this is going on and so forth. Some writers some writers struggle with writing more than others, but everyone should still be motivated and writing with heart about the story. however difficult it might be.
Okay, thank you. This is very enlightening.
Yeah. And so that's it for today, and that's it around 10-minute mark. So that's it for today, and hope to see you next time around. This is my buddy Otso again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.